The stage is set. India is now the fifth largest economy, and in about next 5 years, it is poised to take over both Japan and Germany to reach the third spot. So now, after hosting a successful G20 event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is eyeing another milestone.
साल 2036 में भारत में ओलंपिक्स का सफल आयोजन हो, इसके लिए भारत अपने प्रयासों में कोई कमी नहीं रखेगा.
PM Modi made this announcement during the inauguration of the 141st International Olympic Committee session at the Geo World Centre in Mumbai. Hosting the Olympics is a huge task. It boosts the host nation's global image and transforms its infrastructure. But while hosting the Olympics brings prestige and global attention, it is no secret that it often comes with a hefty price tag. Numerous cities worldwide have struggled to recoup their investments. In some cases, the economic benefits have fallen far short of expectations. A 2020 study by researchers at the Oxford University claimed that starting 1960, every Olympics has overshot the budget at an average of 172% in inflation-adjusted terms. Like Japan ended up spending around $28 billion. In the beginning, it had planned to spend $7.3 billion. For the 2016 Olympics, host Rio de Janeiro had budgeted $14 billion but ended up spending around $20 billion. From the construction of the Olympic Village, the Media Village, and the travel and accommodation costs of the athletes to the security budget, all of it puts a heavy dent in the economy of the host country. The average GDP growth of host nations before and after the Olympic Games since 1960 saw a clear dip. So, is it a good idea to host the Olympics? American professor Andrew Zimbalist, who has looked closely at the economic impact of hosting the Games and has also written 3 books on it, believes it is not a good idea.
No, generally it's a very bad bet. It makes no sense to rebuild the Olympic Shangri-La every 4 years in a new city around the world. It's a tremendous waste of resources. You end up building facilities and infrastructure that you don't need. Most countries, most cities who have hosted either the Winter or Summer Olympics have not found that there's any positive economic effect. And indeed, much more often, there's a very substantial financial deficit between the revenues that you generate and the costs.
So why do countries still bid for the Olympics?
There's a political statement from these leaders. They want to be reelected, and they know that in a typical urban political economy, that the construction industry employs more people than anybody else. It's the largest industry. Well, because construction companies are going to get billions and billions dollars worth of business.
And what about the social cost?
You need a lot of land to host the Olympic Games. Each of the venues might be taking up 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 acres. There's not a lot of empty or free or available urban land. Urban real estate is growing increasingly scarce. In order to find that land, what you have to do is basically tell people who are on the land, and it's almost always poor people, that they have to get off. You have to evict them.
India has had its share of hosting both. Since independence, the country has hosted 3 major sporting events: Asian Games in 1951 and 1982, and the 2010 Commonwealth Games in Delhi. The Commonwealth Games faced budget overruns, allegations of corruption, and infrastructure issues. The event left a mixed legacy, with many facilities underutilized and deteriorating. So what is the way out?
The obvious solution is to have one permanent host, or maybe 2 or 3 rotating, but I think even better is one permanent host. You don't have to rebuild everything. You just use the facilities that are there. And in between the 4-year cycle, you have other kinds of smaller competitions there, and you have the facilities for practice for the world's best athletes.
But not all agree that hosting the Olympics is a bad idea. They believe that the mega event leaves a huge positive impact on the hosting country. It creates a sporting atmosphere and encourages an entire generation. And India definitely needs it at this juncture when its athletes have started shining at the international stage.
I think definitely it's a very good idea to host Olympics because it's not about just the cost, which goes in terms of infrastructure and maintenance. There is one thing to it that it takes India global, on a platform because Olympics is a very large global event. It will also lead to a good domestic consumption and drive a lot of people into the country. And I think after the Olympics is done, the infrastructure can be used very efficiently for promoting these other sports.
While past experiences and financial concerns are valid, hosting the Olympics is also an opportunity to showcase India's capabilities and cement its place in the global arena. The key lies in thorough planning, transparency, and prudent management. So, the decision to bid for the 2036 Olympics carries both risks and rewards.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
He's moving from employee to employer. Business Standard.